നമുക്കൊന്നും കേൾക്കുന്നില്ല. ഹലോ.
Can't hear.
Yeah, ma'am.
Here now.
Now it's audible.
Okay, okay. That presentation is visible.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, good morning, all.
Morning, ma'am.
Just woke up or fresh?
Fresh.
Anybody still in bed, holding the phone and sleeping there?
ബിജോയ് നിന്നെ
ഞാൻ പല്ലേച്ചു മാം, ഞാൻ എണീറ്റു.
Okay. So we'll go to the next topic, that is understanding mobile applications. Okay. Application users. So yesterday we had just done about proximity and closure. So we'll just continue with that. So we had seen proximity. So what is proximity? Whenever these objects are placed near or close by, then we assume that as a group. Okay, we treat that as a group. So you can see in the diagram you have three gear icon, and here you have two more gear icon. So this is told as one group and this is the other group. So along with that, you're also having the descriptive text. So the descriptive text given here is figure 1.1 and proximity. So this descriptive text is nothing but it is giving you some additional information, or user can understand the relationship between the graphical as well as the text. Okay, so that is what we had told for proximity. Next we had seen was closure. So what we are saying in closure, if sorry, if enough yeah, if enough of the shape is available. So here you can see here, two sides of the triangle is given properly, but the third side is half filled. So even though it is half filled, we perceive, or the user or the human mind, it perceives it as a triangle, right? So this is what we are telling for closure. So even though a small part of the figure is missing, but the human mind will perceive it as a full complete diagram. That is, in this case we'll treat this as a triangle. So this is what was done in the previous session. So now we'll come to the next one, that is continuity. So what is continuity? So continuity is nothing but, you can say, now if we start from one end, so you can see here you are having two strokes, one is a horizontal and one is a curled one. So user eye, what it does is it just follows in the continuous fashion in on the perceived object. So you can see here the perceived object here is a horizontal curve. So what happens, if we start from one end, it will go till the end of that horizontal curve, and after that we will be moving to the next curve, that is a curled curve. Okay, so that is what we are saying in continuity. If you start from one end, we will reach up to the end point of one particular object, and then we'll immediately start with the, or continue with the next object. So here you can see two elements which are overlapped. Are you all there? Hello. Okay. Okay. So that is about your continuity. Same thing in mobile application also. If you say, if you're having continuity, like you have a link, so if you click on that link, you'll be directed to another object or another task, you can see. So that is what we are saying about continuity. So from one direction you're continuously moving on to the next task, or like in mobile app you're saying, you're clicking on some link, so you click on that link means you will be directed to other point. Again in that, again if you're having any link, you might be directed to other point, or you'll be just in that particular page. So that is what we are saying for continuity. And the next point is about figure and ground. So for figure and ground, what you can say here is, just take a blank paper and you place some object on that. So that blank paper will be treated as a ground, and the object what you have placed above it, that is called as a figure. So you can see here a diagram is given to you. So here, which is the ground? So the gear image what you can see, that is the figure, whereas below that, that white surface, that is nothing but it is called as a ground. The same type you can use in your mobile application also. You might have come across some situation wherein when you think in Microsoft Word only, you have that menu, right? So that background will be some color and file will be written in other color. You have file, home, insert, all those things. So that file, home, insert and all will be written in one color, and below that you will be having other color. So that file you can call it as the primary control, and or the figure also you can say, and below that background what you're saying, that is called as a ground. Okay, so what we want to say here is there must be clear distinction or separation between your ground and the figure. So the same example you take here, your ground color is white, and the gear image also if you are given as white, then is it possible to identify that figure?
Yeah.
No, right? So for that purpose, what we say in ground and figure is there should be clear distinction or separation between the figure and the ground. Okay. And the last one we are coming is that is similarity. So in proximity, what did we say? We are trying to group the elements or objects which are placed based on their distance. Those are placed close by. We will make it as one group. Similar to that, next point we are coming is similarity. So, what is the difference between similarity and proximity? Is proximity is based on the distance, how the objects are placed, whereas in case of similarity, how you are going to group based on the color or based on the size. Based on that, you are trying to group. Okay, so that is the difference between proximity and similarity. So here again, one more thing, what they're saying is the layout, what you're having, the layout on which you're going to put the objects, it should be such a way that, or it should encourage you to have objects which will be in the form of groups. Okay, so these are the different principle what so this question is an important one. Write about Gestalt's principle. Okay. So you have to tell about the principle. So what is that the principle says? It describes how human mind perceives and organize visual data. So while telling about this, yesterday we said who Shantaram was telling that he wants to develop a Ludo Queen or something like that, right? So that is what. While telling about that, we said if you're having four coins, so for one player all the four coins will be same. So what will our mind perceive? So if you're having four coins which are of red color, then we come to a conclusion as that is for one player. Similarly, other four coins of same color, that is of one player. That is what we are that is human mind perceives, and it is organizing the visual data, that is color, based on the color we can see. Similarly, you can do based on the size or some other attributes also possible. Okay, so according to this principle, every cognitive stimulus is perceived by users in its simplest form. Here cognitive stimulus, what you can say, how the person is coming to the conclusion, or his memory, or his remembering capability, that is perceived by the user in its simplest form. Here one simplest form for that Ludo example, if you're saying the simplest form, what you're saying, based on the color you're trying to group the players. Okay, so this is what you have to tell about Gestalt's principle. So this is an important question. So what is Gestalt principle? What are the different key principles? So you have to draw the diagram and explain each one of them. I hope I'm clear. Okay.
This one.
Next we'll go to the next topic, that is social aspects of mobile. So social aspects of mobile. So at one point or the other we come across this kind of situation. So what is this social aspect? So you might be playing some game in Facebook, you assume, and you have reached to some score, and you might have come across some situation wherein they are saying, "Do you want to post it in your wall?" Have you come across these kind of situations? Anybody? Hello? Anybody is
Yeah, ma'am.
anybody is
No,
there,
ma'am.
or all are sleeping?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So, what is the social aspect of mobile? So, under this, what we can say here is we have so many social networking sites and other social media outlets. What does this do is they collect information. Okay, they collect information, and that information can be sent throughout the globe. And when it is sent, they might be adding some other value or some user experience when they are circulating it across the globe. So this is like to build their reputation they can do this. That is one of the way which you can do. You can think now yesterday we said whenever you want to download some app from the Play Store, so we said that you all only said that you will be checking for ratings, right? You will be checking for ratings, you'll be checking for review. What are those? Why do we have to rate it? They will ask us, right? When you use an app, they'll ask us, you want to rate or you can give some review. Why are they doing that? Anybody? Hello, people are
For
there?
goodwill, ma'am.
Yeah. Anything, any
For
other
goodwill.
purpose?
Maybe they need more customers.
Yes, when you get more ratings. So yesterday you all only told, right? When you download, you see the ratings also, right? So whichever is having a good rating, good review, people tend to go for that particular application. So that is one way. So here under social aspects. So the first point what we are seeing is connect with existing outlets. So it can certainly help spread the word about an application when users share in application content in a wider audience. So take the example of Facebook only. You have used one gaming some game, okay, or you have played some game or something like previously it was there, right? What age you would die, all those things. So such kind of thing, when you have attempted that, then they will ask you whether you want to post it in your wall or whether you want to share it. So whenever you're sharing, what happens, that is nothing but you are spreading it to a wider audience. Okay, that is one thing. And count on users to share achievements or interest when tweet results or like article options are available. So this is other way. So tweet result. So again, tweet results or like articles. So there are many a times it happens. Usually, some people their kids' photo. Usually, just few days back, it was there during Krishnashtami. So they would post their kids' photo and they would ask us like they like they're participating in some competition, and whoever gets the maximum like, that person will be the winner. So that is also one way. So we like when the number of people liking that particular picture, so they are going to get more votes. Okay, so all this comes under your connect with existing outlets. Okay, so it might also be beneficial to simplify sharing and retrieving. So by doing this, even sharing and retrieving content from the current network is a beneficial one. So for that, you require some API which will be integrated with the network. So that is the first point under social aspect. And next one we are going to see is usability. So what do you mean by usability? So in the current world, cell phone is something like everyone use, right? So you have a kid at home who is in LKG or UKG, when he is using a cell phone, and you have a elderly person 85, 90 years age also, there are who still use cell phone. So the usage of cell phone is a wide gap, is it? So it should be such a way that the person that is the LKG going kid also should be able to use, and also the elderly person also should be able to use. So with the real world distraction, that is what you can say. When you say elderly, there must be some restriction like how they have to use. So it should be easy for them to use. All those things you need to consider. So you can say an application is usable if, first thing, determining and reaching the target audience. So if your application needs to be a usable one, or usability should be in there, then what do we need to do? We need to determine the audience. Who are our audience, or who are the people who are going to use our application? What are they going to do? So if you're saying a kid, so kid obviously he will be using a cell phone only for playing purpose, so he should be able to use all those icon. If any kid is there at your home, you'll be knowing. Nowadays kids, they know the icon, that YouTube icon. When immediately they click on that icon, then YouTube will be opened. So we must be able to determine the audience. Okay, who are the audience, what are they going to use, or how they are going to use that thing, we must be able to identify. It is important to consider the different hardware as well as patterns in that case. So you assume a person using an iPad, he is using in both his hands and is sitting in a meeting, or that is one kind of usage might be there. Or there might be other person who is using an Android phone and just scrolling through the menus, that also is there. So the first thing under usability, what you should do, we must be knowing who are our audience, and what are they going to use, or how are they going to use, or what do they want from our application. These things we must know. If you are able to identify these things, then your application you can do in such a way that it is having this usability feature. Okay, next one, what we are saying is designing for gestures. So what do you mean by gestures? Anybody? Hello?
Appearance. Appearance.
Sorry?
Appearance.
Gestures, signs. Okay, so people are there, no? Nobody sleeping,
Yes,
no?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm. Who is that? Nikila.
Bijoy.
Bijoy. Okay. Next one is designing for gestures. So, as a developer, you might have spent lot of time working on this gestures. Like gestures can be, it can be you're tapping on the screen, that can be a gesture, or you're swiping. So usually we that screen lock is there, wherein you just swipe and you unlock your screen, or you want to zoom. So these are the different kind of gestures. So as a developer, we might be spending a lot of time in designing these gestures. But if this your user or your audience, if they are not updated with this, or if no information is given to them about this gestures, then they are not going to use it. So if you're having any gestures, or if you have added any features of these gestures, then it should be told to your client or your customers. So one way of telling them is, you can have a pop-up box wherein you're announcing that this is a new feature that is added to our application, you can use it this way. Some box announcement can be done. So in that way you can make your client use your features of gestures. And also we should make sure that we should avoid this swipe ambiguity. So what can be the meaning of this swipe ambiguity? So in gestures, what happens is, suppose you have done like this. Now, to open the file, you are giving one gesture, something like a pattern like F you can give. And to close the file also, if you're given the same kind of pattern, then there is a confusion as what we have to do, whether you have to open or whether you have to close. So such kind of ambiguity should not be there. Okay. So for each of the operation, you need to give different kind of gestures. Then so that is what you have to tell under this. And one more point here is about perceived and actual target. So what do you mean by this perceived and actual target? So you might come across some situation wherein you are clicking on some icon. So actual target is, so this perceived target, is the point where you are clicking and it is going to do that task. So you can see in the figure the perceived target and actual target. So actual target is something more than this perceived target. Okay. So then the next point, that is error protection as well. Okay. So even the kid wants to join our class, maybe. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Your class is awesome.
Let him join, ma'am.
Kids even like your class, man.
Okay.
Shanda, Pallu,
Okay. Next, one second, I'll be back. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
ഇതിനൊക്കെ ഇവിടെ നിന്ന് മാമ് പോവാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ ജോയിലൊക്കെ അങ്ങ് ചാടി വരുവാണല്ലോ.
അതങ്ങനല്ലേ ഓടിക്കോ ഓൺലൈനിൽ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു
ഞാനൊക്കെ ഇതിനെ പറഞ്ഞതിനുള്ളത്.
ബിജോയിന്റെ വാഴയ്ക്ക് ബിജോയ് തടവെടുത്ത് മടുത്ത പോകുന്നു കാലം രാത്രി തടവെടുക്കാൻ പോയി
തൊളയിടുന്ന ആളെ അരുണേ
സാഗർ സാഗറിന് എന്താ പറ്റിയ സാഗർ അലിയാസ് ജാക്കെ എന്താ പറ്റിയ സാഗർ വാട്ട്
എടാ സാഗർ ഡ്രോപ്പ് ഔട്ട് ആക്കിന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാലോ.
അത് പ്രശ്നം
അല്ല സാഗർ ഇരിക്കട്ടെ, അവന്റെ സന്തോഷം. ഈ നിനക്ക് മാത്രം ഇനി മാത്രം ഐഡി, നമുക്കൊന്നും ഇല്ലല്ലോ.
അത് മറ്റേ എനിക്കൊരു ഗ്രൂപ്പ് നോക്കണം മറ്റേ രക്ഷാപുത്രൻ
എനിക്ക് ഇരിക്കുന്നില്ല. അവളുടെ ക്ലാസ് കിട്ടിയില്ല.
എനിക്കിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഞാൻ പ്രസന്റ്
പിന്നെ നീ എന്താ
എന്നോട് പറഞ്ഞു ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക്കലി
അത്രേ ഉള്ളു.
Hello. Okay. So we'll go to the next point, that is error protection and correction. So whenever you have an application, it can happen that you in system, when you say you will be using mouse, all those things, here we are just clicking on something. So as a good application, it should have the facility to go to perform undo or back option. So that is one thing which you can add in case if there is any error correction. So you might have unknowingly deleted something, then you can go for undo option. So those features should be added. Okay. Then, or any process you have, our main intention is to protect the user data. So that should be the main thing what it should be included. And along with that, you have to add some features like you can keep the input history. So usually what happens, you will be entering your mail id. So you can see in some places you just type the first character of your mail id, automatically the next thing will be displayed. So that is nothing but your input history is maintained. So all these things comes under your error protection and correction. Okay. So the main thing what we are saying, you have to add the undo button, and also you need to maintain the history, that is log history or your input history also. Okay. So these are the things which comes under usability. Next one is accessibility. So what you can say in accessibility, so your application should be accessible to all. So as we said in the previous slide, a kid should be able to use, as well as the elderly person also should be able to use. So if your application is such a way, then you can say that your application is accessible. Okay. So the range of usage should be from the youngest one to the eldest one. If all are able to use, without any much difficulty, then you can say that your application is accessible. So, finding better ways to build features for the entire intended audience. So, what is the meaning of this? In accessibility, what you can do? So, accessibility means we said that your application should be accessible to everyone, from the younger one to the eldest one. So what we have to do, we have to try and find ways how you can add better features so that the entire intended audience should be able to use it. Okay, so here some consortium is there, that is, you have the web content accessibility guidelines, and you also have PORE, that is perceivable, operational, understandable and robust principles, and next one you have is mobile web practices. So these are the different consortiums. Okay, they are the different bodies who have given some standards. So under that, they are telling you 5 checkpoints which need to be there for mobile accessibility. So what are the 5 checkpoints they have given? So first one is overall behavior. So it should have an overall behavior. So what is the meaning of that? So whoever is accessing or using your application, there must be some guidelines for using it. That is, and also it should be independent for a specific device features. So if you're going for iPhone, then you are going to other Play Store, and that will be having some other features, and your Android will be having some other features. So those things comes under your overall behavior. And next one is navigation and link. So navigation and link, so it should be such a way that it should be easy for the user to interact with it. Okay, you can have hyperlinks on the cell phone device interface, so all those comes under your navigation and links. Next one is page layout and content. So page layout, so how the content should be designed or how the content should be present in your page. So that is a thing which you have to consider. And it is not like you're putting lot of information, you're putting information in such a way that people are not able to understand or read properly what is written. So that thing should not be there. So limit the contents in your page. Then page definition, that is nothing but you're defining the area, like your image can come over here, your text can come over here, so that comes under your page definition. Next one is user input. So under this you have to consider the different possible input methods for your application. Okay, so these are the 5 checkpoints that is given by these consortiums or the standards. Next point we'll go. So as human lifespan is increasing, the need of mobile devices that can assist people with disability is also increasing. So what is the meaning of this? As the age of the person increases, so we say when you're young we are fit and fine, but as the age increases, we might come across different sort of imperatives, right? So some of them is given here, that is, your application or your device should be such a way that it should be able to assist the people with disabilities. Okay, so that is also increasing. So which are those? So we have to see some of the situation. So the first thing they are saying is about hearing. So when you're developing an application, or let us consider ourselves in the place, so we are not able to hear, so what should your application be doing? So we are not able to hear and the phone is simply ringing, then are we going to receive it? Hello, hello.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Ah, under hearing. So what we are telling here, our application should be such a way that it should be able to assist the people who are having some disability. So first one under that we are saying is hearing. So a person is there who is not able to hear, okay, and he should be able to use your application or your mobile device. So what you can have, if your application is only ringing or assume for notification, if it is only ringing, then is it of any use to that person? No. Then
Oh,
what are the features you can add? Instead of ringing, what are the features we can add?
please.
vibration,
Vibration. Okay. Then
light,
light. Light, right? Some alert, like visual alerts. So if you are having some visual alerts, then the person who is not able to hear to the ringing sound, so it will be helpful for such kind of people. So that is what you have to tell for hearing. Okay. Next one is vision. So under vision, what you can say, a person is blind. So blind person, he wants to call somebody. He wants to call somebody and he has to type some number, or direct call option also might be there. So what features you can add to such kind of people?
Voice
Google
test.
Assistant,
Voice you can add, yes. Then
Google Assistant,
Google Assistant is there. No, leave that, your application. Now the phone is locked, or if he wants to call, just when he just lights it, then immediately the call should go to somebody. So such kind of features can be added. Okay. Or audio, that's what audio can be done, because for hearing we said he is not able to hear, so their visual alerts. For him, this person is not able to view, then what kind of alert he should get? Just the opposite of hearing. If any notification is coming in for a person who is not able to view, or a person who is blind, a notification is coming in, then how you can alert that blind person?
Sound alerts.
Sound alert, right? You have a message like that, something like that. So this is just the opposite what you have to write for hearing. Okay. Next one is about speech. So when you speak about speech, take yourself in some situation, you're in some meeting and you're not able to attend a call, then what happens? Immediately you can send them in the form of a message saying that I'm in a meeting, I'll call back you later. So such kind of features, if it is there, that will be helpful to the people who are not able to speak currently. Okay, in this situation. Next one you have is dexterity. So this dexterity is nothing but this is the task what you can do with your hand. Okay. So a person is driving. A person is driving and he is not able to receive the phone. Then what happens?
Automatically message will be sent.
Yes, such kind of features you can add. So dexterity is nothing but the people who are not able to perform the task using hand. So for them you have to add some features in your application. And next one is cognition. Cognition is nothing but the people who are having problem in understanding things and remembering things. So think elderly person, some 85 or something like that, elderly person. So for them, it should be easy for them to use. So how you can do that? So if you're showing some image, if something through images is shown, then it is easy for them to remember. Like if I want to go call this person, then I have to click like this. So something through the image you can give, or you can have some shortcuts directly. So if he wants to call, it's not required for him. Means in some phones, what is that? You have to go to contacts, you have to search their name. All those things will be there. Instead of that, directly you can have some icon. If you click on that, directly go the call will be going to this particular person. Some features like that can be or should be added. So that is what we are telling under this point. Okay. So this is all about your um, social aspects of mobile. So under social aspects of mobile, what you're saying, First is connect with the existing outlet. So in this, you're speaking about how your information is collected in the social media and it is circulated throughout the globe. So that can be for productivity purpose also, or increase that is in terms of if ratings are more, then people going into that app will be more. And next one, in usability, we said we must know who our target audience are, what are they going to or how they are going to use, and also designing gestures. So under designing gestures, what you're saying, whenever any new gestures are being added to your app, you should make sure that your audience will be knowing about that. So how you can do, you can go for pop-up announcement, and along with that, this diagram is telling you about the perceived target and actual target. So perceived target is only this much part, that is the gear symbol within the border you have written, whereas actual target is somewhere little extension, that white part what you can see, that is the actual target. So it can happen that if you click on that actual target also, that icon can be opened. Okay. Then under error protection and correction, what you're going to say, protecting the user input should be of utmost important, or user data should be of utmost important. And in the correction, what you can say, you can have features like undo operation. So thereby, if you have deleted something unknowingly, you will be getting that data back. Okay. And next thing what we spoke about is accessibility. Under that, we spoke about hearing, vision, speech, dexterity, and cognition. Dexterity, when you say, remember, you're driving or you're cooking, you're not able to use a cell phone that time. So, what other alternative? Automatic receive or any voice recognition. So, when you're speaking, it should be received, or phone should be received by your voice. Something like that. Such kind of features you can add. Cognition, in the sense, what, remember, elderly person who are, or either elderly you can say, or a small kid you can say, who are having the remembering things and learning things who take time. So for such kind of people, make sure you are trying to have your app as simple as possible. One is either you can use photographs, or another way you can say icons you can add. So they and also some links through which you can redirect to other sites, and also some visual alerts, or visual feedbacks, or audio alerts, audio feedback, such kind of customization you can perform. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so should I continue?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, next one.
No, ma'am.
ആരൊന്നും പറയല്ലേ, നമ്മളോടൊന്നും തോന്നല്ലേ, അറിയാണ്ട് പറഞ്ഞാണ്.
Okay, should I continue or stop, because it's the next topic?
Stop, ma'am. Enough for today.
Enough, ma'am.
Okay, so next you just have some scroll all this. Okay, so shall I tell one point?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Take care.
Take care.
In the remaining 7 minutes.
7 minutes, no? Okay. Which is the next tab?
Ma'am, election.
Okay. So we'll just tell one point. So next topic is understanding mobile information design. So what can be the meaning of this? So here we have about, we are speaking about information display, design pattern, navigation. So mobile devices that we are using, that what is happening in that, lot of information are there which you are trying to fit it in the limited space of your screen, right? So we have to keep in mind who are the target users, and based on that, you are trying to limit, or you're trying to tightly constrain your screen, that is, try to put lot of information in the limited size. So under that, the first point what you're saying is information display. So what you can say under this information display, So people usually, what do? They can identify some signals, and based on that signal they are going to do some action. So just take an example, you are going to ATM and you're giving some amount and you're trying to withdraw. So in that display you'll be getting a message as collect your cash. So that is a signal what you're getting. So when you get the signal as collect your cash, immediately what we will do, we are going to collect, or we are going to take the cash out of the machine. So that is what here we are telling under information display. People will identify signal and they're going to interpret the meaning of the signal. So in the ATM, you got a message saying that collect the cash. So immediately the task what you're doing here is you are removing out of the cash. Okay. And then you're carrying out action until your goal is reached. So what is your goal? Your goal is to collect the cash. So that is what we are telling under information display. So in that case, it's also like you're trying to do what micro tasking you can say, or limited tasking can be done in this. And the next one what you're saying is that is about the design patterns. So under design patterns, so have you learnt about designs and all? Design pattern, anybody? So what you can say under design pattern is, so we are seeing the hardware, we are seeing the operating system, all those things. But in when you are speaking about design pattern, the hardware, the operating system, all those will be secondary. They will be irrelevant. The main thing what we are considering is the design. So user is only worried, or he is only concentrating about the design, how the things will be appearing in your screen. Okay, that is what you're telling under design pattern. So the main intention is about the appearance and not on the hardware or the operating system. Okay, so we'll just stop with this because the next topic, that is navigation, is a lengthier one. So we'll wind up with this. Hello.
Thank you, man.
So 1 hour you slept.
What, ma'am?
You woke up from your sleep.
I